So this time I want to read you a part of a story which I started to write about a Steiner school, and it was going to involve several different characters, parents of children at the school and the kindergarten teacher, because years ago I was involved in a Steiner school myself. My children attended it and I did attempt to become a Steiner teacher, but because of my communication difficulties, I think it just didn't work out, which was a great trauma to me. But I thought I could salvage the experience by writing a huge long novel, and I sketched out various characters that were going to be part of this novel. And then I kind of lost interest. But looking at them again, I kind of think it would be fun to read you some of it. So this character is called Harriet, and she's a parent of children at the Steiner school. Harriet is driving along the A40 towards Oxford with her two children in the back. Luckily, they're not quarrelling, so she can focus all her attention on watching the road and relaxing into the stomach cramps. Occasionally, she feels a fresh gout of blood washing onto the pad and trickling around the edges. Of course, she would get her period just when there wasn't time to lie down and rest. She notices the services sign and pulls into the long lay-by with the concrete block toilets. Anybody want the loo? They are dozing, that's why they're so quiet. Mags stirs, drops her panda and murmurs, "Are we there yet?" Joey looks flushed, sweaty and confused. Harriet hauls them out of the car on the grounds that even if they don't want to go now, they will later. And besides, they're too young to leave alone in a car with strangers lurking nearby. The school health and safety officer would approve. She has a flashback to a scene in the school foyer where Coralie is harassing a young mum who left her sleeping baby in a car parked on the road opposite the school for 5 minutes while she picked up her child. "I know," insists Coralie, "just 5 minutes, but that 5 minutes is long enough for another car to plough into the back of yours, and then how would you feel about it?" Harriet wonders briefly whether it would be less dreadful for you as a mother if you were actually still sitting in the driver's seat when another car ploughed into the back of you and trashed your baby. "Can I have an ice cream?" Joey has seen the sign. He can't read, but he understands pictures well enough. "Lou first," says Harriet. "Come on, quick, Mum is dying to go, even if you're not." She sends Mags into one cubicle with Joey and takes the next door one for herself. Motherly supervision can only go so far when you're bleeding everywhere like a stuck pig. The cramps really are worse than usual. She wonders whether it's down to the stress of getting organised and coming away to see Grandma. There's no toilet paper on the roll. She roots around in her bag for a few half-used tissues to sop up the bright red wetness on her inside thighs and the edges of the panty gusset. She uses her last pad. Hopefully it'll last until she gets to Mum's and can rescue the pack in her weekend bag. It's crazy. She might have to get some tampons as well if it carries on like this. "Mummy, there's no toilet paper. Joey's done a big poo." "Sorry, I haven't got any either, sweetie. Can you go and look in the next cubicle?" "What, shall I bring Joey with his pants down?" "No, leave him there and go and look. Stay there, Joey, and Mags will find you some loo paper." "I can't open the door." "Oh, no. Just a minute, I'm nearly finished. Have you got a bolt on your door?" "What's a bolt?" "Oh, Mummy, now he's pulling his pants up. He'll get poo all over them. I can't get out. Help." "It's okay, sweetie. Just stay calm. Never mind about toilet paper. We can change Joey's pants when we get to Grandma's, if they're messy." "But the door." "Yes, now listen. Can you see a little knob that you slide?" "What knob?" "Oh, yes, but it won't slide." "Can you wiggle it up and down?" "Yes, but it won't." "Oh, it's okay. I've done it." At the stainless steel vandal-proof wash basins, Harriet waves her hands under the tap, trying to find the way to turn the water on. Somewhere there's an electronic eye. Or is it a foot pedal? Mags, full of newfound technological confidence, waves her own hand under the tap and notices blood on Mummy's hand. "Look, Mummy, you've cut your finger." "What?" "Oh, no, it's all right. It's just blood. Come on, wash your hands and then we'll go for an ice cream." The distraction tactic sort of works, but Harriet can feel her daughter eyeing her suspiciously. She's already taught the distraction tactic to Mags to use on Joey, and Mags is not gullible. But she's still only 6, and Harriet would rather not broach the subject of feminine hygiene with her just yet. partly because she wants to pick the right moment and doesn't really know how. Her own mother didn't tell her anything until she was 11, and even then it was excruciatingly awkward. She wants to be the sort of mother who just casually infuses her children with the information they need, but right now the thought of launching into a big explanation in front of Joey and all the lorry drivers standing around with mugs of tea, well, only 2 lorry drivers actually, but 1 would be too many, she'd rather not. "Aren't you having an ice cream, Mummy?" asks Mags, observing the 2 cones being handed over. "No, not today, sweetie. Here's yours, and here's yours, Joey. Take care now." "Is it because you cut your finger?" Damn it, that girl is so sharp she might cut her own finger. "No, don't be silly, Mags. I'm just not eating ice cream at the moment. Come along now, let's get back in the car." Why do children always want to know the most intimate details of people's lives? Harriet has decided to try a special diet, but she's blowed if she'll feed all the details of it to Mags. There will be so many whys that she'd rather not be called upon to tackle. She deserves a quiet life, doesn't she? If she wants to detoxify herself for her own personal reasons, she should not have to answer to a 6-year-old for it. "I'm bored," announces Mags. "Can we play I Spy, Mummy?" "No, you know Joey's too young for that game." "But we can play it, just you and me. I spy with my little eyes, something beginning with—" "I'm not too young," Joey interrupts. "I can play too." "No, you can't, Joey. Shut up and let me do my turn." "Yes, I can. Can't I, Mummy? I want to play." Harriet interrupts with what she hopes is a positive, can't read my own writing here, a positive, mature parental tone. "Let's make up a story. We can all do that, can't we? I'll start. Once upon a time, there was a princess who lived in the bog." "Mags, you do the next line." Mags gathers her fury and lashes out at her little brother. "I said first, and I want to play I Spy. He just spoils everything." "Mummy, Mags pinched me." "No, I didn't. You're just a crybaby telling tales." Harriet looks desperately for a place to pull over while the fight in the back escalates to punches, hair-pulling and tears. As the car lurches to a halt, she jams on the handbrake and turns. A surge of animal rage rises up through her chest, and she bellows without restraint. "Both of you, just shut up! How can I drive with all this going on? What do you want to do? Get us all killed because I can't concentrate on my driving, just because you, madam, insist on getting your own way all the time and don't have the decency to include your brother in the game? I've a good mind to turn round right now and drive straight home again. I'm in charge here, not you. Do you understand me?" She listens to the tirade pouring out of her mouth in the same way that one experiences a stream of unstoppable vomit. It's very graphic, this, isn't it? Mags looks sullen and mutters, "All right, you don't have to shout." Joey's little face crumples again into weeping as he pleads, "I'm sorry, Mummy, I'm sorry, Mummy, I'm sorry, Mummy." Harriet is stabbed to the heart. She knows she's made the whole situation worse instead of better. She wanted to be a good Steiner parent, using spiritual wisdom to protect her children from the harshness of the material world, gently leading them through the cosy, rosy childhood of holistic enfoldment, as depicted by Josh, the Steiner kindergarten teacher. Instead, she's stabbed at their etheric envelopes with lightning bolts of totally unnecessary anger, and she doesn't even know why. "Sweetie, I'm sorry. You didn't do anything wrong. Mummy's just cross for no reason. Hugs?" Joey nods tearfully, and Harriet gets out, climbs into the back, and takes Joey out of his child's safety seat to hug him. Mags remains in her seat, feeling undervalued and self-righteous, all at the same time. When Harriet reaches an arm out to her, she stays rigid. "Why did you say sorry to Joey and not to me?" And only when Harriet formally apologises to her does she sidle up to join the hug. They continue the drive in a subdued frame of mind. Josh makes it all sound so wonderful, so right at the parents' evenings when he talks about the principles of Steiner education. The adult is a solid, safe presence, steering the children when they need steering, inspiring them to play imaginatively, making them feel secure with happy routines that don't intrude on their child consciousness or insist that they learn intellectual analysis too early. Harriet has already been challenged by the concept of avoiding discussion with her children. She always thought it was right to treat your children like their opinion mattered, to help them to learn by asking them to contribute to discussions. "Now, Magsie," she would say, Shall we have spaghetti hoops or cheese on toast, do you think? And Mags always seemed to appreciate being consulted, although Harriet has to concede that there were also times when the child seemed to be in charge rather than the parent. Mags has always been a bossy one, like her grandma, and not willing to give way on anything. Apparently she has a choleric personality. It's ironic that Mags wasn't happy in the local primary school because she wasn't being challenged enough. She was brighter than her classmates, that was why she'd started to be disruptive. And now, in the Steiner kindergarten, she's not being taught anything, just being left to play with the wood and the muslin, the sheepswool figures and the beeswax crayons, and apparently loving it. So what would Josh say if he had to explain periods to a 6-year-old? Of course, he wouldn't make a big intellectual explanation out of it at all. That's the problem, Harriet thinks. We've all come from a generation where our mothers made a big secret thing out of it. She still cringes, remembering the embarrassment of being drawn up and made to sit on her mother's knee at the age of 11. It was as though her mother had to make her into a baby again so that she could feel safe to speak about it. And then all that stuff about the seed and the sperm and the growth phases of the embryo. She'd have been perfectly happy just to hear that babies came out between the pee hole and the poo hole. That was all she had been asking about. So, what should she have said to Mags in the public toilet? What was she really asking? She wanted to know where the blood had come from. Harriet still can't think of an answer that wouldn't have begged a whole raft of questions. And her womb is spasming and squirting like it hasn't done since just after Joey was born. It looks like being a challenging weekend, not least because Harriet's husband Lewis decided not to come at the last minute. Staying with Mum is always intense, but at least when Lewis is there it dilutes the experience somewhat, brings a sense of normality to the situation. Mum is just so... It's hard to know how to describe her, really. She is uncomfortable to be with. The kids get on with her okay, but Harriet finds it hard to be a rational adult around her. Lewis is so nice, so normal and supportive. At least when he's there, it's easier not to get sucked into those dreadful confrontations. But he has to attend to his business, apparently. Lewis runs his own independent estate agency. He's ambitious and hard-working. It takes dedication to build up a business, and of course that must come first. But it's too bad that his assistant can't be more reliable. And that was going to turn into a little affair on the side that Lewis was having. But I didn't get any further with it, so that's the end of the story for now.